This month on Connections. Our travels around Chicagoland begin on the south side at the new location of an old community favorite. The Hyde Park Art Center is our first stop. Then we'll board the number 15 Jeffrey bus heading west with a story about the latest additions to the CTA fleet, the new Flyer buses. As we travel north on the Green Line, we'll talk about the many ways the CTA keeps you headed in the right direction. We'll step off the Green Line at Lake Street, a popular hub in the Loop, and tell you about one of the city's great travel bargains, the CTA Visitor Pass. A quick transfer to the Red Line at Lake, and we're on our way north as we introduce you to the winning crew that helps keep CTA trains in top running condition. We'll make a stop at Wilson Station, our destination, and tour one of Chicago's more eclectic neighborhoods. Then it's back on the Red Line northbound to the end of the line, Howard Station, which is undergoing an exciting new facelift. Finally, at Howard, we'll transfer to the number 147 bus, headed to the lakefront to check out all the summertime action. There's lots to see and do in Chicago this summer, and what better way than on board the CTA?
Hi, I'm Dale Rivera. Welcome to Connections, where you can learn all about using the CTA in and around Chicago. In a city of cultural treasures, this longtime favorite is a standout. The Hyde Park Art Center is our first stop.
From budding artists to the work of professionals, you can see everything at the Hyde Park Art Center's new home. The center's new facility opened this spring, and the 32,000 square foot space provides ample room for classes, studios, and exhibitions.
You walk in the building and you see every aspect of the creative life, not only the actual making of art, the final product, the kind of inspiration that goes into art, but it's kind of also the nitty-gritty of what it's like to sit in that studio by yourself creating these pieces.
While the building is new, the art center itself isn't. It's actually been a resident of the South Side for the past 67 years.
Hyde Park Art Center was founded in 1939 by a group that really wanted to create a new kind of institution that would be much more connected with community, be much more accessible, but at the same time was showing contemporary art.
The new facility at 5020 South Cornell was designed with students and artists in mind. In fact, the artists had a say in helping design the space.
We've had a lot of input from the artists who teach here on what kind of spaces they need, what kind of facilities they need for them to do the best job teaching their classes. We'll be able to expand and to be ambitious about the kinds of programs we offer and the kind of curriculum we offer.
When it comes to classes, the Art Center has traditional offerings like painting, drawing, photography, and ceramics. And in the new location, there will be something a little different.
We also have space for digital work. One of our very famous areas is ceramics, so the digital is as far away from ceramics as you can get it. But it's going to be very exciting to be able to offer that to people.
From toddlers to adults, there is a class for everyone at the Art Center, and it's open 7 days a week.
Classes start as early as 9:30 and they end as late as 10 o'clock at night. So there are options really for anybody with any kind of time frame.
Of course, it's never too early to begin exploring your artistic talents.
It's fun. It's making your drawing and art gooder.
So grab your art supplies and head to the Hyde Park Art Center. Here's how the CTA can take you there. Get ready to immerse yourself in the world of art at the Hyde Park Art Center and let your journey begin on the CTA.
As part of its commitment to customer service, the CTA is continually upgrading its fleet. Most recently with the first of 265 new buses which feature the latest technology. After all, the CTA is all about providing service that is on time, clean, safe, and friendly. So keep your eyes peeled for the CTA's newest wave of buses and enjoy the ride the next time you step on board.
In 2005, ridership on the CTA hit its highest point in over a decade. One reason more customers are taking the CTA? New buses. Since the year 2000, the CTA has replaced older buses in its fleet with 700 new buses. And earlier this year, customers began stepping on board the latest additions, new Flyer buses. 265 new Flyers are now making their way to the streets of Chicago. These modern 40-foot buses are good news for the CTA, its customers, and the environment. Each new Flyer produces 60% fewer emissions than the 1991 bus it replaces.
The emissions for these engines are quite an improvement over what we had before, and they will reduce emissions or pollutants in the air on our fleet by about 10% or 203 tons annually.
20 of the new Flyer buses on order are diesel hybrids. Their engines run on diesel fuel, but they also store electricity to help power the bus.
Two benefits that we see by the hybrids will be the amount of emissions, because you can use a smaller engine, and then the second is the ability to use less fuel. And how much each of those benefits will be, it's something that we're going to learn, along with the maintenance of the vehicle.
The CTA will test the hybrid's performance in Chicago's ever-changing weather to see how they hold up. Riding in a new Flyer bus might be like riding in a new car with the latest gadgets and modern amenities. It all begins at the curbside, where a lower floor makes it easier for customers to board. Inside, you might notice the strap hangers for standing customers, and as you exit, the door has a new easy touch system.
All you have to do is get very close or touch the door panels, and the door's open, and the mechanism there will stay open as long as there's someone in the doorway here.
Customers also appreciate features such as air conditioning, automated announcements of bus stops, bike racks, wheelchair ramps, and a security camera system. But some of the other amenities aren't as obvious.
We have an automatic vehicle monitoring system, which really tracks and reports daily anything that may be going wrong with the bus. That reads out automatically on a computer in the maintenance manager's office. So he gets a notice, hey, this bus has come in with a low tire pressure, or you need to check the brakes.
The new Flyer buses further improve performance of the CTA's fleet with added reliability and efficiency that help improve customer satisfaction and attract new customers to the CTA.
We think the upgrades are extremely important because it's one of the features of providing quality service that helps to improve ridership.
On June 24th, an all-pink wrapped train made the inaugural run on the CTA's new line, the Pink Line. Among those celebrating the event were Mayor Richard M. Daley, Chicago Transit Board Chairman Carol Brown, and CTA President Frank Cruzy.
Everything was pink. The train was pink. There are pink banners, there are pink balloons, there's pink ice cream. Everybody was really excited about today. All the employees of the CTA, the mayor of Chicago, because it kicks off the new Pink Line.
The new service will provide residents with faster trips, more service, better connections, along with other service improvements for the near west side of the city of Chicago. This is another example of how the Chicago Transit Authority works to provide reliable, accessible public transportation for all Chicagoans.
A lot of people don't realize this is the first new rail service for the CTA in 13 years. It's part of our west side expansion.
People are excited about it, and when people begin using this service, they're going to understand how important it is, how much easier it makes it, and how much faster their trips are as a result of it.
Eleni Vretos, a 7th grader at Unity East Junior High in Cicero, was one of the guests invited to take the Pink Line's inaugural ride, thanks to a winning essay she wrote nominating pink as the color for the new rail service.
Pink, isn't it an amazing, extraordinary color? Who does not like pink? Plus, if it's pink, people will want to ride it.
And everyone did. Eleni was joined on board the inaugural run by other local students who also chose pink in an essay contest sponsored by the Chicago Transit Board.
The Pink Line is part of our west side service expansion, and we're really proud to celebrate it. And so what better way than to have kids tell us why they like CTA and what color really represents CTA for them. And I don't think they could have picked a better color.
A total of 22 stations will be served by the Pink Line, which operates from the 54th Cermak station in Cicero to Polk. The Pink Line stops at all stations along the 54th Cermak branch, then crosses the Paulina connector tracks to the Green Line elevated tracks, stopping at Ashland and Clinton stations. It then continues to the Loop, traveling in a clockwise direction, making stops at all elevated stations. Direct service to the Loop elevated also means enhanced connections to the red, orange, brown, and green lines, Purple Line express service, and Metro. The first new rail line to open since the Orange Line was started in October 1993, the new service is one of several experimental service enhancements for the West Side and West Suburbs, based upon the results of the CTA's West Side Corridor Study.
The Pink train is what everybody's paying attention to, but also we've got improvements in a number of the bus lines. We've got 5 new bus routes, we've got 8 existing bus routes that have improved service, and so the fact of the matter is this shows a major commitment to public transit.
We want everybody to think about CTA and the new line, think about the service expansion, think about using public transportation and how important it is to our everyday lives. So think Pink.
Whatever questions you might have concerning travel on its system, the CTA has got you covered. With maps, signs, brochures, announcements, a website, and personnel to help get you where you need to go. All you need is a little basic training.
Whether you're new to the CTA system or an experienced customer, the CTA does its best to help you easily find the bus or train that will take you where you want to go. And there are a few simple things to look for before you step on board to make sure you're headed in the right direction. As you enter a CTA train station, you'll see there are signs pointing you to different platforms depending on which line you want to take and where you want to go. The best way to help you figure out which line to board and where is by picking up a CTA map or looking at one posted on the station's transit information board. On the map, you can locate your starting point and follow the train line to your destination. For example, say you want to go from the Clark Lake station in the Loop to Conservatory Station, which is on the Green Line. Just follow the Green Line on the map past Conservatory Station to where it ends on the map. The name on that last stop, Harlem Lake, is the train you'll be riding. Train signs list the last stop so you can determine which direction the train is headed. Next, follow the Green Line Harlem Lake signs to the platform. You'll know you're in the right place because you'll once again see signs that correspond with your line and direction. Now it's time to board the train, and here it comes with destination signs on the front and the sides of the train. But those aren't the only indicators that you're going the right way.
Once the train comes in, there is an automatic announcement that's made both inside and outside the car that says the name of the line and the destination as well, and that's made at every station.
Inside every CTA train car is a map of the line you're riding, as well as a map of the entire CTA train system. Of course, if you still aren't certain that you're headed in the right direction, CTA employees are happy to help. When you're taking a CTA bus, you can make sure you're headed in the right direction right at the stop. Public information signs at bus stops help customers identify the right bus to get where they need to go.
That sign will give you the route name and number as well as a map of the route if there's just one route stopping there. If there's more than one route, it'll give you the basic information and it'll also tell you the direction that the buses are going. We're also putting stickers on the map signs as well, so eventually every sign in the system will give you the direction.
Like the train cars, CTA buses have their route information posted at the front and side of the bus. And automated announcements allow you to double-check you're on the right bus.
Route 14, Jeffrey Express.
Once you're inside the bus, you not only have the announcements of every stop and announcements such as this bus will run express, but you also have the LED sign at the front, the red letters that show you the name of every stop coming up.
Of course, you can always check with the bus operator before you board to make sure the bus will take you where you want to go. When it comes to navigating buses and trains, the CTA does its best to make things easy for beginners and experienced customers.
I give them an 8 out of a 10. So they do a great job.
CTA Visitor Passes are a great value because they allow unlimited rides on CTA trains and buses for a set number of days. With Visitor Pass vending machines at tourist hotspots throughout the city, getting a Visitor Pass is easier than ever, helping to keep your travel plans on track.
Summer is the height of the tourist season in Chicago, and many visitors arrive via Union Station. Many take Metro, often to spend a day seeing the sights, while others coming from farther away take Amtrak to come and see what the city of Big Shoulders has to offer.
Chicago being the hub of the rail system in the United States, about 2 million Amtrak customers arrive in Chicago every year at Union Station, as well as more than 100,000 Metro customers every day.
From Union Station, many visitors are looking for an easy, cost-effective way to get around the city. CTA buses and trains are located just steps outside of Union Station. And to make it even easier to travel on the CTA, a visitor pass machine as well as a transit card vending machine have recently been installed at Union Station for visitors, commuters, or anyone wanting to get around town quickly and inexpensively. With the push of a button, you can buy a 1, 2, 3, or 7-day pass that will provide you with unlimited rides for the life of the pass.
The pass has been extremely successful. Visitors think of it as a very economical tool to be able to hop on and off our trains and buses to see all of Chicago.
Visitor pass machines are user-friendly so that anyone can buy a pass with ease. They take credit and debit cards in addition to cash. There are instructions in English and Spanish, as well as an audio component and Braille type. Now here's how the visitor pass machine works.
I want to walk you through buying a one-day pass with your Visa card. You would choose the number 2, one-day pass. At this point, I'll ask you to either insert cash or use your bank card. We're going to be using the bank card today. At this time, the machine is authorizing the credit card. Once we receive authorization, the machine will dispense the card that you want. You can remove your one-day pass, and if you'd like a receipt, you can hit yes. If no, you can just hit no.
The Visitor Pass machine at Union Station is one of 8 conveniently located around the city. Other locations include O'Hare and Midway stations to serve those arriving by plane, Cumberland and Rosemont stations along the Blue Line, and also Chicago Avenue's Red Line station, steps away from the Magnificent Mile. A Visitor Pass machine can also be found at the Waterworks Visitor Center along Michigan Avenue. Of course, if you have guests coming to town, a Visitor Pass is the perfect way for them to see the sights of Chicago.
About half the visitors to Chicago actually stay with family and friends. And one of the key components of our marketing plan is to let Chicagoans know that, hey, if you've got guests coming in town, why not get them a Visitor Pass so they can sightsee when you're off at work?
Last year, the CTA added a Visitor Pass vending machine to its booth at Taste of Chicago, which helped to boost sales. Since the CTA made Visitor Passes available through vending machines last year, Visitor Pass sales increased by 54%. Customers appreciate the convenience of the vending machines and the unlimited rides provided by the passes.
The Red Line's Wilson Station is located in one of the most diverse neighborhoods in the city. To tour this urban melting pot, just step off the train and right into our destination, the area around Wilson Station.
Stepping off the Red Line at Wilson Station, you'll find yourself in the center of Uptown, an eclectic neighborhood on Chicago's North Side. Uptown is where creativity and everyday life converge, where diversity is celebrated, and anyone can feel right at home, especially at Uptown Bikes.
Our motto here at the shop, which we go over every year when we start the season, is we're a respect-based shop. So we welcome all kinds of bikes, all kinds of people, all ages, and this is a great neighborhood to see the world.
You can spot Uptown Bikes right from the Wilson platform. Just look for the bike on top of the building. There's also a unique display outside the front doors. Here is where you'll find everything from a cargo bike to a surfboard bike to an adult tricycle to a handmade Indonesian pedicab. And if those bikes weren't unique enough,
This is our bicycle blender. It's made from several different bicycle frames, and it's human-powered. So we loan these out to a lot of street festivals or nonprofits, and they make smoothies out of this during the summer.
But this bike shop isn't just where you can buy a bike. It's primarily the place to go to get your bike serviced. Or if you need a specific bike part, check out their bike boutique.
We've pretty much selectively chosen popular parts, used parts, and that's what we've been known for years, is basically having a good stock of used bike parts.
Customers flock to Uptown Bikes not only for repairs and part replacement, but also for great service.
They have a good reputation for being really down to earth and reliable.
So whether you're a bike enthusiast or you have one in need of repair, head on over to Uptown Bikes. And remember, of course, the CTA can take you and your bike there. Just east from Wilson Station, you're going to find a place for conversation and relaxation at the Urban Tea Lounge. Owners Hank and CeCe Anderson were aiming for a comfortable, healthy, and friendly cafe. And that's exactly what they got when they opened the Urban Tea Lounge over 2 years ago.
The Urban Tea Lounge says exactly what this is. It's a place that is urban.
In the city.
It's a lounge for relaxation, and we serve tea.
And lots of it.
The best in the world.
The Urban Tea Lounge is known for its high tea, which is served in a traditional manner with finger sandwiches, scones, pastries, and of course, pots of tea.
We'll have people come in here and say, oh, I have high tea at the Drake all the time. This is better than that. Or I have high tea in Bath, England. This is better than that. And we get those compliments all the time, and we're very proud of it.
No matter if you prefer black, herbal, or green tea, there are more than 70 different types of tea to try at the Urban Tea Lounge. And there are a few unusual blends with names like Blackjack or Passion and Envy.
We just happened by and decided to drop in. And I'm even going home with some tea that I drank today, so it's been really great. Good food, too.
Heading west from Wilson Station, you'll run into Truman College, home of the internationally recognized Pegasus Players Theater Company. The Pegasus Players began 27 years ago as part of a high school English class. Today, it's a world-class theater company that performs 4 productions a year, a combination of contemporary works and musicals.
We like to do pieces that leave the theater when we're done, pieces that start dialogue, pieces that bring people together, that spark discussion, that go beyond just the walls of this room. And being in Uptown, we have a great interest in diversity and bringing people together.
I know we have the most diverse audience of anybody in the city, and that's probably the fact that I'm proudest of.
Outside of their own productions, the Pegasus Players have made it their mission to give back to the community. This is the 21st year of their Young Playwrights Festival, a program that invites Chicago Public School students to submit plays, and a winning entry is selected each year and produced by the theater company.
The Young Playwrights Festival was the turning point in their lives. It was that piece that let them go on to do whatever they wanted to do, be it in theater or not. And it's such a remarkable program, not just for the students, but for those of us who come and see it and share in their worlds and their thoughts.
This year, there are more than 700 entries for the Young Playwrights Festival, and the program is now expanding internationally as well. So step off the CTA at Wilson Station for a performance by the Pegasus Players, a break at the Urban Tea Lounge, or to get your bike ready for riding at Uptown Bikes.
We're heading north to the last stop on the Red Line, Howard Station, where a 3-year rehab project is underway to transform this major transit hub into a modern, accessible station for CTA customers.
Howard Street is considered one of the key stations in the CTA system, serving the red, purple, and yellow lines, 7 CTA bus routes, 2 PACE routes, and nearly 2 million customers each year.
It's a combination of the bus traffic, the train traffic, the ridership, the traffic that transfers from one line to another. It's a whole formula that brings about what is identified as a key station.
Built in 1926 and last rehabbed in the 1960s, Howard Station has been in desperate need of repair and upgrading, which is why a major rehabilitation project began at the station this spring.
The infrastructure is aging and it's time to redo it. Plus we wanted to make sure it was ADA accessible for our disabled customers.
The rehabilitation project will make Howard into a 3-story, state-of-the-art station, with major changes customers are sure to appreciate.
At this time we have wooden platforms, which are deteriorated, and we're going to replace those with 2 newly concrete island platforms. We're going to do track work, which we're going to even out the tracks.
Also on the platforms, lighting will be upgraded, new benches, windbreaks, canopies, and heaters will be installed, and customer assistant call buttons will be added. Security is also being given a boost at platform level and throughout the station, with 64 cameras that link to the CTA security camera network. Most important, when the work is completed, Howard Station will be accessible to customers with disabilities. Elevators, a wheelchair-accessible turnstile, TTY telephones, braille signs, and tactile edging will bring the station in line with the Americans with Disabilities Act. Other improvements include a brand new entrance on Paulina and a refurbished entrance on Howard. One advantage of the new Paulina entrance is that it will connect the station platforms, the bus terminal, and a multi-story parking garage on the station's west side. The rehabilitation of Howard Station will contribute to the revitalization of this north side neighborhood.
You'll notice there's a new plaza over here. There's lots of good things going on in this community.
The new Howard Station is expected to be completed in 2009. While it's undergoing a major overhaul, it will remain open for service, which is important for the thousands who use the station each day.
This is one of the great projects that I have to work on. And it's wonderful, transforming the station into what is going to be one day a beautiful, vibrant, wonderful station.
When you think of summer in Chicago, you think of the lake. But you might be surprised at all it has to offer. From fun, to sun, to fitness, the CTA can take you to all the activities along Chicago's Lakeshore, our last stop.
There's no better time to hop off the couch and head to the lakefront for some summertime fitness. Whether you like to walk, run, bike, or rollerblade, there are 24 miles of lakefront paths for you to explore. But that's not all. You'll also find golf courses, driving ranges, tennis courts, athletic fields, and even a Valley Fitness Center right at North Avenue Beach. The lakefront has everything for people of all ages and skill levels to keep active this summer.
The Chicago Park District wants to make sure people enjoy themselves while they're exercising, keeping active, and just keeping a healthy lifestyle. The lakefront is such a beautiful place to do your activity. You can enjoy it. It doesn't even feel like exercise.
Remember that you can rent bikes and volleyball equipment along the lakefront. And if you love extreme sports, check out the 2 skateboarding parks on the north and south sides.
We'll tell you more about fitness along the Lakeshore next month as we begin another journey around Chicagoland on the CTA. I'm Dale Rivera. See you in August on Connections.
For more information about the CTA or to use the RTA's trip planner, visit our website at www.transitchicago.com. Or for customer service matters, call 1-888-YOUR-CTA. For travel information, call the RTA at 836-7000 from anywhere in the Chicago area.